Nowadays, he's a homo.
Obama's a Tootsie Roll, man. That's what he is.
Yeah, I noticed, man. That spirit is out here. You got all these feminine, homosexual, but that's the way of America. You got a lot of that going around. These feminine, Stay Puft Marshmallow type guys, like Baloo, talking like they're tough guys, man. Well, that's Obama. Obama, look, man, we're gonna do this. We're gonna see when Putin really do his thing. We're gonna see, man, how tough Obama. We're gonna see the measure of his resolve, man. Okay, and you know what? I'm gonna let you say this real quick. First of all, I'm gonna say this: them Russian soldiers are badass, man. You Americans talk about the goddamn special forces, the Green Berets, the Rangers, and all that, the Marine Corps, Recon. They had this show on a few years back. You already know where I'm going, right? The Greatest Warrior, where they would match up so-called warriors from different time periods, and they actually had the whole laboratory. A lot of y'all, if y'all saw the show, you know what I'm talking about. And they would actually, what was that word? Forensically have tests, and they would have guys like they had one episode, the Native Americans against the Apaches against, I think it was the Spartans. They said, what would happen if you took an Apache warrior and he went up against one of the Spartans, which the Spartans were Israelites anyway, right? And they had it, and the Apache, the Gadite, won, right? And they had actual Gadites in the studio showing Apache war tactics. Then they had guys who were experts in Spartan history and whatnot. One particular episode, they had the Green Berets against the Spetsnaz. The Russian Spetsnaz. Now the Russian Spetsnaz, that's the Russian version of the Green Berets. And guess what? The Spetsnaz won. They beat the Green Berets, man. Showing you that if it really went down, because them dudes just don't, them Russians are sick, man. They're built tough, man.
They survive in the cold, unlike certain guys we know.
Yeah, well, hey, can't deny that. Yeah, you can't. Hey, hey, now they made a big deal at the Sochi Olympics last couple of weeks. Well, actually, months before that, about the Russians. They said they don't want no faggots in the Olympics. If they catch them, they're gonna arrest them and shit. And there were certain Russians that were finding Russians out there and asked them if they were faggot. They would deny it. They said, no, you're a faggot. You dress like a faggot. They beat the shit out of them, right? So the U.S. had a problem with that. You know, led by the first openly gay president, Barack Hussein Obama. You know, and that's showing you where their mindset is. See, in America, they're celebrating the fact that a man can marry a man, and a woman can marry a woman. And Russia's the complete opposite of that, man. So that's showing you, man, that the Russian military, they itching to fight the U.S. Troopers, man, or troops, and they're gonna go at it, man. There's gonna be some. They're gonna lock horns, man. There's gonna be some bloodshed, okay? But anyway, I'd like you to read this on the Gog, but go right here. You don't have to read the whole thing. You can read right about. Yeah, right around here.
Okay. This is
You want to read the whole thing? Not that long.
Okay. Gog, historically probably Gigas, a 7th century BC king of Lydia. Whatever his origin, he has been transformed in Ezekiel 38 to 39 into the apocalyptic figure who marches from the north. Ezekiel 38 and 6, 15, and 39 and 2. And ravages Israel before being destroyed by the Most High. Ezekiel 38, 19 to 22, 39, 3 to 5. The sources for the description of Gog's attack and defeat include Jeremiah's enemy from the north. Jeremiah 1:14, 4 and 6, 6 and 1, 22, 10, 22, 13, and 20. And there is the Isaianic motive of the destruction of Israel's foes on the mountains of Israel. Isaiah 14, 24 to 25, 17.
Hold up, get that. Isaiah what?
14, 24 to 25.
Somebody hold that.
Isaiah 17, 12 to 14.
Go ahead, hold that. Somebody hold that. Go ahead.
And Isaiah 31, 8 and 9.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, God reappears in the New Testament, Revelation 20, 18 through 20, paired with Magog. In Ezekiel 38, 2, Magog is probably equivalent to a phrase in the Akkadian language, Mat Gog, land of Gog. See also Ezekiel, the book of.
Yeah, so what the first scripture was? Isaiah?
His first scripture is Isaiah 14:24 to 25.
Isaiah 14 and 24.
Isaiah 14 and 24. The Lord of hosts hath sworn, saying, surely I have sought, so shall it come to pass. It says, and I have purpose, so shall it stand. That I will break the Assyrian in my land, and upon my mountains tread him under foot. Then shall his yoke depart from off them, and his burden depart from off their shoulders.
That was 25.
Yep.
The next one. What was the next scripture?
17 and 12, Isaiah 17:12. Woe to the multitude of many people which make a noise like the noise of the seas, and to the rushing of nations that make a rushing like the rushing of mighty waters. The nations shall rush like the rushing of many waters, but the Most High shall rebuke them, and they shall flee far off, and shall be chased as the chaff of the mountains before the wind, and like a rolling thing before the whirlwind. And behold, at evening trouble, and before the morning he is not. This is the portion of them that spoil us, and the lot of them that rob us.
Yeah, the lot of them that robbed us and spoiled us is America. They put us into slavery, so the Most High going to use the Russians to destroy their asses, man. Give me Revelation 13 and 1. Did you get anything out on that? It's okay, good.
You want it now? This is from a site entitled The Gog and Magog War, Discovering Future World Events Through Scripture. It says, Gog is the leader of the horde and prince of Meshech and Tubal. Solid historical accounts point to Magog being Russia. This makes sense in light of Gog coming from the far north. Russia is the furthest country directly north of Israel. In the Hebrew, the prince of Rosh is literally the chief prince, not the prince of a place called Rosh, as some scholars suggest. So according to this, according to this article, Gog and Magog represents Russia, according to this article here.
Yeah, so you got certain people that agree that Gog and Magog represents that area, what's now called today Russia. All right. I asked somebody to give me Revelation 13 and 1.
Revelations 13 and 1. And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power, and his seat, and great authority.
Yeah, now the feet of the bear, Russia is also known as a bear. And if you notice, that's the bottom of him. Now, when you go into the prophecy of the 7 heads and 10 horns, it's talking about NATO and the EU, but Russia is really not a part of that. But Russia, the Russians are Edomites. But ultimately, Russia is going to be a part of that because Russia is going to bring them down. That's why I said the feet of the bear. That's the end of them. Russia's going to bring this place down. All right? Give me Revelation 20 and start from 7.
Revelation 20 and 7. It says, and when the 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison.
That's when Christopher Columbus, during the time of Rodrigo Borgia, Alexander VI, the Pope of Rome. That was the late 1400s when Christopher Columbus was commissioned and given the resources to go to the other side of the world, which they named the New World, okay, as opposed to the Old World, which is Europe. And when you take out a dollar bill, it says on the dollar bill in Latin, it speaks about the New World, or Novus Ordo Seclorum, new order of the world. Okay, so this is the New World, and this is when they came back into power, and they took the other side of the world, which on that side of the world were Israelites. Go ahead.
It says, and when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison and shall
And
go
that
out.
proves also that the white man is Satan.
That's right.
Go ahead.
And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth.
And how did they deceive him? Through Christianity, Roman Catholicism, which true Christianity and Roman Catholicism goes back to the Byzantine Empire, which they were our people, dark-skinned. So